Hello, Bhaiya. Jai Gurudev. How are you?
Jay Gurdev, I'm good. How are you?
Doing well. I'll just like to welcome everyone for keeping it simple today. And for those of us joining in for the first time, I'll just give a small brief about Prashant Bhaiya, Prashant Rajoreji, and then we can go ahead with the question. And if you have questions, you can start typing him in. So, Prashant Bhaiya, Prashant Rajoreji is a graduate of chemical engineering from the prestigious School of Indian Institute of Technology, Bombay. He's been associated with His Holiness Shri Shri Ravi Shankar for over 20 years. He's been part of the Art of Living Foundation, has donned many roles, like the manager of the International Center in Bangalore, as well as, um, correct me if I'm wrong, as well as teaching various programs like advanced meditation program, blessing courses for the corporate programs, as well as rural programs. He has done he's done many innumerable service projects for children, rural development, women empowerment, relief and rehabilitation programs, and disaster relief. And I think that's it. If I'm missing anything, Prashant Bhaiya, please tell me.
No, that is good enough.
Okay,
That's nice.
great. So, should we start with the question, Bhaiya?
Yes.
Okay. So today the first question is, what is the connection between discipline and freedom?
Discipline is the beginning of freedom. The more disciplined you are, then you become more and more free eventually. It was a discipline to go to school in the beginning, and going through school, then you learn so many things. And when you learn things and when you know what everything is all about, then you get the freedom to apply what you want, and then all creativity comes from there. All theories have come from the discipline of going to school. If you didn't have the discipline to go to school, then you would not, or most people would not get that freedom to express themselves or create new theories or understandings. So it is surprising, but it is so. You start with discipline. You need to learn certain things before you start to expressing yourself. If you have to learn painting, you have to be disciplined in whatever is known till that time. When you become disciplined with that, then you create your own styles. It's the same thing with music also. You can't have freedom without discipline, isn't it? You need to understand the basic notes of music and how it functions, and you have to have a little mastery over it, and that mastery comes with discipline. And once that mastery happens, then you get that freedom to express.
Okay.
Make sense?
Yes, absolutely. This is my question. Is there something that you can do to increase your personal discipline or get more discipline in your mind?
See, the basic discipline came to us from our parents. Now, when we were small, our parents forced us to brush our teeth. Many times we were rebellious. We didn't want to brush our teeth. So sometimes they cajoled us, sometimes they coaxed us, sometimes they pushed us, they threatened us. Sometimes we even got one or two smacks also. But that brought discipline into us. And that is how that discipline has been nurtured. The seeds have come from there. Now our parents are not there. We have to do the same thing with our own self. Coax, cajole, push, whatever, threaten yourself, be away from certain things, and move on. And sometimes you might fail. Just because you have failed, it does not mean that discipline is not happening. Things happen through failures only. Now, man reached moon. He reached moon how and why? It didn't happen that they designed a spaceship, and on day one that spaceship reached moon, isn't it? So they created experiments. Some experiments passed, some experiments, many failed. They made sample spaceships. Some covered half the distance, some covered the full distance and came back. Few lives were lost. And all that became a learning process, and that persistence happened. Even if you fail, that is not the end of the road. You restart again. and that is how that discipline is nurtured.
Okay.
So Gurudev says, no, you can take 10 steps forward, and in that 10 steps forward, you can go back 8 steps or even 9 steps, but you will never go back the whole 10 steps. So it's the same thing with discipline also. You might go forward, you might even come back, but you will not go back the whole distance.
Great. Thank you, Bhaia. I have a question coming in. It says, whenever I'm in advanced course, I have very less thoughts. How do I have this state of mind in my daily life?
Not necessary to have that state. Life is to express ourselves and do our bit. And after 3 months, come back to an advanced course. So we say, no, opposite values are complementary. So in the same way, a brake is as much necessary as the accelerator or the gas pedal. If the car lacks even one of that, then the car will not function. Only the gas pedal, no brakes, you will not drive the car. And if it is only brakes and no gas pedal, then the car will not move. Isn't it? And both are required and at different times. Isn't it? So coming to an advanced course is deep rest. That rest pushes into activity. When you really get into activity, tire yourself, and then come back to the deep rest again. So that is the play. So it's happening daily also. We are sleeping every day, then we get active every day, then we sleep. So advanced course, doing all those meditations give you real deep rest. And after deep rest, it is time to get into activity. You can't say, I'll be in that state of deep rest only and not act. Our life will not move. Isn't it?
Yes. Yeah. Perfect. So the next question is, how to get over a sense of loss? Intellectually, I know I should move on, but I'm not able to get over the memory.
Loss of a person, that person means to ask.
I'm not sure.
So I assume it is loss of a person only because memory and things it's more difficult to get over the loss of a person. You remember them because you love them, and you cannot wish away those memories, those remembrances. So be in those memories. Take your time. Don't be in a hurry to not have those emotions. Those emotions also arise because of those memories which are there, and that connection is there. So give yourself time. You don't have to be a robot. You have lost someone in 5 days or 10 days flat. You have to be free from all emotions, and memories are going to last for a lifetime. I still remember my parents. It's been more than 7-8 years I lost my mother, and 13-14 years since I lost my father. Those memories are there, and sometimes they bring emotions also, and it's fine. I loved them, they loved me, and we had a very intimate relation. So it's going to be there. Why to wish it away? It's a beautiful part of life. Certain memories cannot be wished away, and you should keep it, and you should feel grateful that you had people like that in your life, isn't it? So it's a to show no emotions is not a natural thing to do. Okay, so be very natural. If emotions come up, good. If they don't come up, that is also fine.
Okay, great. Thank you. So the next question is, I have a habit of picking up other people's negativity. How do I let go?
See, negativity, positivity, we are not independent. So we are going to pick up all these things. Some people's positivity also we are going to pick up. Some people's negativity also we are going to pick up. So when we go to the market, then we pick up all types of dirt and germs and everything. When we come back home, we take a shower. And then we are free from that. So in the same way, you pick up negativity, you pick up positivity, influences come from everywhere. Then you come and do your meditation, your practices, Sudarshan Kriya, and that will free you, isn't it? So rather than saying this should not happen, I should not pick up negativity, it's okay. Because we have a wonderful technique to get rid of all that. Many people are not even aware. Gurudev says, no, all these practices are mental hygiene. Isn't it? So if you brush your teeth today, you cannot say that for next 6 months my teeth should not get spoiled. They get spoiled in a matter of hours. Sometimes you need to brush 2-3 times a day. So in the same way, if you get into negativity, no problem. Play there, come back, do your practices, and become free.
Okay. Great.
Okay, and if the practices also don't help, then we have a master. Surrender. That sense of surrender also frees us. That I'm not the doer. It is the divine play that I have to go through all this right now. And whenever everything is over, I will be also fine.
Okay, perfect. So we have a question coming in. It says, how much ever you forgive the person for whatever they wronged you, they still keep hurting you. How to tackle such situation when you are staying with them?
Yeah, many of us misunderstand forgiveness as no action. Forgiveness does not mean no action. Forgiveness means that my mind becomes calm. And then with a calm mind, I see how I can correct the situation or whatever is happening. Isn't it? So many times we are in that feeling of revenge, and because we are having that feeling of revenge, then we become very agitated, restless, and in that state of agitation and restlessness and disturbance, we take corrective actions, and more likely that we get not so good results out of it. So there is a joke. Would you like to listen to a joke?
Yes,
So there was this person who was walking on the streets, and on the street was a blackboard, and on that blackboard was written, "The person who reads this sentence is a fool." And our friend happens to read this sentence, and he becomes very upset, agitated. How dare the person make a fool out of me? He doesn't know me. I don't know him. I am going to have my revenge. I'm going to teach him a lesson. Until that time, I'm not going to move away. So he stands there. 5 minutes pass, 10 minutes pass. After 15 minutes, he has an idea. You know what he does? He rubs out whatever is there on the blackboard and then writes, "The person who has written this sentence is a fool." So that is what happens when we are in a sense of revenge. Okay, you need to correct the situation. Calm down. Forgiveness is okay. He has done something. Let me calm down first, and with a calm mind, see how you can correct. If you can explain to that person what he is doing is not right, then that doesn't work. Then make somebody else explain to that person. That doesn't work. Then maybe little threat, little this, little that. All methods are available. But forgiveness is the first step. Forgiveness does not mean action. It means the beginning of action. Okay.
thank you. I hope that helps. I have another question. How do I have clarity of mind, purity of heart, and sincerity in action?
Gurudev says, no, we have two tools, so hum and so what. Okay, so practice your breathing, Sudarshan Kriya, meditation every day, and then don't take life too seriously. It will all happen. When we try to balance, the balance is not going to happen. Gurudev says, no, it's like riding a bicycle. You can't say if you go to the left, you have to move to the right, and if you go to the right, move to the left. All those theories don't work. It's just you sit in the bicycle, and one fine day you just get it, isn't it? So you keep. The more effortless and more relaxed you are, the more easily you will get it. So more relaxed you are, easily you will get it. That is how it is. And so hum, so what?
Thank you. Great. So this is a very apt question. The question is, what is a blessing? Is it energy?
Yeah, everything is energy only. So one way of describing blessing is energy. So divine will is also energy, your thought is also energy, your breath is also energy, blessings which come to you is also energy. So yeah, in one sense, yes, energy. And because that energy comes, then it manifests. Gurudev says, no, all the gods and goddesses are energies, different types of energies, like how we have heat energy, sound energy, light energy. So this is also a form of energy.
Okay. Great. Thank you.
So one last question now.
Okay, sure. Um, um, uh, okay, so this is a question. I think the person had attended a previous session. So I'll read out the question. Happiness is experienced as a feeling, and feelings change. Guruji says live life based on commitments and not feeling. So when we say become happy first and then do what you want to do, isn't it contradictory? Instead, shouldn't it be like whether you feel happy or unhappy, let it be and do your work?
Yeah. So we think happiness is in a situation. But let us understand what is the mechanics of experiencing happiness. Suppose gulab jamun gives you happiness. So when you have your gulab jamun, what happens? We have 7 layers to our existence. So the outer 6, the body, breath, mind, intellect, memory, ego, they all come in harmony. And when they come in harmony, we are able to experience the self. Okay, and that gives us joy, and we think that the gulab jamun has made us experience that happiness. Okay, if joy was really in the gulab jamun, then 10 gulab jamuns would have given us real joy, or 50 gulab jamuns would have given us real joy, but it doesn't happen, no, that way. After some time we say enough of gulab jamuns. So happiness is not in the gulab jamuns, that mechanics has gone wrong, that's all. So when we do our meditation practices and everything, it's like digging a borewell. When we dig a borewell into the earth, the above layers are happy, not happy, whatever. But when you reach the water, the other upper layers are having water or not, it doesn't matter. But when you reach the source of water, then you get water. In the same way, you pass through these 6 layers through your sadhana and connect to your self. And when you connect to that self, you are naturally happy, because that is where the source of happiness is. So when we talk about becoming happy first, means connecting to that source again and again. So sometimes, because our practices, we have not practiced so regularly, we have still not connected to the self. Or the more regularly we practice, the more easy it is to connect to the self, and we can be happy and joyful. But just in case, we are not able to experience happiness and joy, for us to sustain those periods of time, that commitment is there. Commitment means what? Continuing to dig the borewell, even though you are not experiencing that water, isn't it? So purpose of all actions is to get happiness only. But if you're not experiencing, that commitment will push you there and take you out. So commitment is the beginning. The end is that is the state we see Gurudev in. No problems seem to touch him. He's always happy. He's always joyful, isn't it? No matter what the situation is. And that is how our life can be.
Perfect. Great. Thank you, Bhaiya. And we'll take, there's some questions, but we'll take him next time. So thank you so much for your time, Bhaiya. And hopefully, and those of us who are watching, join us next time, 6:30 p.m. next Monday. Great.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Dhruv, and wish you all the best, and see you next Monday at 6:30 p.m. Good night.
Thank you, Bhaiya.
Jai Gurudev.
Thank you.